Hi, this is Anne from Aloha from Anne on Instagram. I wanted to share with you a few things that I've been doing recently that have drastically increased the amount of time that I can spend in the Word and also deepened my walk. I have been so encouraged by the stamps that have come out from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. This is the Greek alpha stamp created by my friend Deeds from Mercy's Journaled. And then there's two sets of word mapping stamps. This is one of them. This is word mapping 2. And then on the back, this is word mapping 1. And these stamps are available at Sweet and Sassy Stamps online. And initially, I started by just following Mercy's Journaled on the Sweet and Sassy and Creative Worship Facebook groups. And this particular one was my very first word mapping. It was July 6th of 2023. And I did my page as close to what Deeds did as possible. I was just trying to learn the routine of it. And as I began studying the word, I started to learn how to research and to dive deeper into words in scripture all by myself. And so I started looking at words like holy and well and things like that that were very interesting to me. And then also some of these I did as I either followed along with Deeds or I did them after I watched her live. So this is my word of the year, so I was really excited to do the word yield. I also have done mercy. Here's one that we did together. This is without hypocrisy. The other thing that's nice about diving deep into a single word or a single phrase is that you get all the depth and the richness of that phrase. But then also I've been able to use some of my leftover scraps of past kits. This one came from By the Well for God, or stickers or different things. This particular one I did. All the paper came from an old Creative Memories scrapbook kit. So I was pretty excited to use up something that I'd had for a very long time. This is from Stampin' Up. So very fun to learn about We Are Destroying. Here is one about loving each other with genuine affection. Of course, learning about bless and what the Bible calls a blessing and versus what we call it. Consider Jesus. Here's harash. Very great word. Here we go. Propitiation. Anxious. These are stickers that I used from Confetti Creativo. So it's very fun to be able to use up leftovers. This is leftovers from a kit from By the Well for God. Here's from Faith Heirlooms. Here's Harvest. Another printable from Confetti Creativo. Using up another printable from By the Well for God. This is a brand new stamp set that has come out from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. Looking at the word peace. Rejoice. Lagging behind, and then spirit. So in addition to all of those word mappings, I also was gifted a James Method verse mapping journal by a friend. And so I wanted to share with you what these look like because they're very different. This is my very first one from John 10:10, which is my favorite verse. And as you can see, one verse provides a lot of study. Each verse you go through, you select whatever verse you want, and then pick out the key words, look those up in the Hebrew or Greek, whatever the original text is, looking at the context of when it was written, different translations, cross-references, and then take a look at what this teaches you about God, what this teaches you about man, a personal reflection, and then some prayer time. As I've been working through these, you can see I've been using scraps and highlighters and different things. Kind of fun just seeing how creative you can get as you're working on these. This was 1 Peter 5 verses 6 and 7. Here's Luke 16:11. Now these are the things that I work on at night while I'm watching television, which seems kind of crazy, but they're not super deep. They're not very hard. Everybody can do this. All you need is a piece of paper. You don't even need a book like this. Just a piece of paper and follow the general outline. And then I really like to use the Blue Letter Bible. Of course, it's fun if you can do some creative coloring or add some stickers, whatever. These are some leftover scraps from a kit printable that I had. So here's another one, 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 2. Exodus 33:19. You can do Old Testament as well as New Testament. Here's Proverbs 15:33. And I'm not showing you this because I want to brag. I'm showing you because I want to inspire you. Here's Acts 2 verses 20 or 42. And this one I was playing around with some color and the new inspiration box from Sweet and Sassy Stamps. And then this is what a blank sheet would look like. So I'm ready to start whatever is next. So we've done word mapping. Here's verse mapping. And I have one last thing to show you. This is from Honey and Butters or Butters and Honey, I can't remember. And this is a scripture mapping journal. And what I've started in here is I started looking at the different apostles, the 12 apostles. And this is Thaddeus. And I chose Thaddeus as my first apostle because so little is known about him. And yet, look at all I gleaned from the scriptures, from Deep Dive, from Thaddeus. Now, if you recognize this image here, it is from The Chosen. And all I did was look on the internet, find the photograph of all of the apostles, and then I printed them and put them in my book. And so I'm ready as soon as I can move on to the next one. As you can see, I started Peter, and that's when I got a little overwhelmed thinking maybe Peter is not the place I needed to start. So that's when I went to Thaddeus. But anyway, I've also found that this book, Who's Who in the Bible by Philip Comfort and Walter Elwell, are also very helpful. So I hope that you've been inspired to invigorate some word mapping, some verse mapping, or even just some character studies into your scriptures this year. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon.